2024 was a very busy year discussing certain indie titles being released, and the Crush House, well, it ended up slipping between a few cracks. But now, because things are generally a little bit lighter in the first couple of weeks of the new year, we have a time to take a look back at certain releases and give them the spotlight they so duly deserve. And the Crush House, well, it ended up getting that treatment here. And so to set the stage, what type of game are we dealing with here? Well, I've heard it characterized, and in reading a couple of reviews, it's kind of a sleazy version of Pokemon Snap. Wait, what? It's a shallow reality TV show game with a dark twist. Okay, I guess that could be interesting. This is coming from Mashable. The thirst-person shooter, struggles to capture the magic of trashy TV. Yeah, sounds quite tragic. I can see why nobody was really talking about it, but the Mashable score, 2.75 out of 5, I guess. Yeah, vibes, charm. It gets a 4, right? The gameplay, 2.5, story 2, bang for your buck, 2.5, because yeah, you can actually go and purchase this over on Steam, and well, you could take a look, and as it sits right now at time of recording, there's an interview with the developer going on right now, and it is just out there, and it's broadcast 5 hours dedicated to this stuff. Holy. And yeah, I mean, you could take a look, you can buy it for $22 Canadian, so whatever that would be, $19 American, something like that. But the reviews for it, since it dropped on August 9th, mostly positive. I mean, recent reviews, you got 12 of them and 234 overall, but I mean, from a developer, Nerial, never heard of that before. Okay, that's probably not too bad, but your publisher. That's kind of a powerhouse in the industry, right? And you take a look at user-defined tags, it's like, it's got the mark of the beast on it. Now I know why this one ended up just trying to be swept under the rug. That's because Sweet Baby Inc. was involved in its development. Oopsie daisy. Recent Sweet Baby Inc. game potentially revealed from a popular studio. What are we dealing with here? Another game has seemingly been revealed by the Gothic Therapy YouTube channel and a recent client of Sweet Baby Inc., the controversial narrative design firm co-founded by Belair. Yeah, I wonder how many studios are going to learn from the example that was very much on display in 2024 that Sweet Baby Inc. and these consultancy firms will kill your game dead if they are found to be in association with them. Because let's be honest, okay, it's not just the simple, you work with Sweet Baby Inc., therefore we're not going to support your game. There are some people that'll go ahead and take that tact. It's just, I'm a little bit more discerning when it comes to my taste and my denunciations. I've seen Sweet Baby Inc. work on games that are quite good. God of War Ragnarok. It's just, you can kind of see where their influence very much plays in, and it just so happens to be the worst aspect of the game. Watch through all a Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and they were very much a part of the dialogue and the story. And guess what was trash in that game? The dialogue and the story. Also, the gameplay was nothing to write home about, and it was just repetitive, and the UI was ungodly designed, and its live service nature was detestable from a purely financial aspect. But just run down the list of failures that they've had. Whenever these people get an in regards to the writer's room, it's always a big flop. They're really bad at the job that they purport to have. We're just a consultancy group. We don't go in and we don't take over a room. We don't insert our own ideology, even though prior to you scrubbing your website, you were very much promoting. That's exactly what you do. So if you don't make any changes, if you don't force your worldview on anything, what exactly do you do? Or are you just lying? I kind of think it's the latter. The game in question is called The Crush House, and it was developed by Nerial Ltd, Limited, obviously, which is most known for the strategy game Reigns. It was published by Devolver Digital, the company that put out Cult of the Lamb. But also Devolver Digital back in the day put out games like Hotline Miami, Broforce, which is great. Anyways, several other things. Like, they're one of the more, at least they were, one of the more prominent indie studio, publishers rather, out there. It used to be a mark of quality. Well, then again, at that point in time, so was Ubisoft. SBI's alleged involvement was pointed out by Gothic Therapy YouTube channel's host, Master of the TDS, and Writing Raven. Host identifies it as a potential Sweet Baby Inc. game when one of Belair's narrative designers admitted to working on the title on social media. Okay. Another former Sweet Baby Inc. employee also noted involvement with the Crush House. Why is this important? Sweet Baby Inc. is a narrative design firm that injects DEI elements into games. Belair and many others have denied that this is the company's primary goal. However, past statements contradict this. I mean, yes, both written and verbal. We do narrative development in games and kind and beyond, and we try to bring inclusion, diversity, and new ideas to the industry, Belair says in a presentation from, GDC in 2019, where she also famously went on her little tirade that said, hey, if you don't get what you want, go and have coffee with your marketing department and terrify them. I'm paraphrasing, of course, but not when it comes to the important word, terrify people into giving you what you want in the form of aggressively pushing ideology. He also states that company does higher sensitivity reading, noting, we need sensitivity readers. No, you don't. No, we need risk assessment. No, you don't. And these are again, important services that I literally list on every PDF that I send out, to be hey, I can do a risk assessment and sensitivity reading. Hey, look what I can do for a very pricey fee. I mean, in regards to Black Myth Wukong, that was also exposed early last year prior to that game's phenomenal release. Sweet Baby Inc. would like to work with your company. If you'd just like to pay us I don't know, $7 million, we'll make sure that none of our friends in games journalism will release any hit pieces or anything like that. And then when Game Science decided to go to hell, then all of a sudden IGN put out this poorly translated hit piece. Very, very strange timing, right? But to continue, later on in her presentation, Belair admitted she attempted to get a developer to race swap a character from a white Frenchman to a person of color. Well, she used to work at Ubisoft, actually. That's how she ended up getting her feet wet in the industry. So could that end? I would have to be convinced that that wasn't in regards to Assassin's Creed Unity. I wonder if the timeline matches up on that one. But SBI first became infamous after a disastrous rollout of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League in early 2024. But already, the name was floating around in certain circles, especially after the disastrous launch of Alan Wake 2, which, funnily enough, you're going to be hearing more about, I think, tomorrow or Monday, because they're back in the news, because guess what? You play with Sweet Baby Inc., you end up losing quite a lot. The game was a, horrific failure loaded with forced diversity that have reportedly cost Warner Brothers Games an estimated $200 million in losses, and effectively gutted Rocksteady of any remaining credibility they had in the space and expose them for being exactly what they are. After that interview, after interviews with Belair began to surface, where she encouraged game developers to go to their marketing teams and terrify them. Yes, here we go. Here's the quote in full. If you're a creative working in AAA, which I did for many, many years, put this stuff up to your higher ups, and if they don't see the value in what you're asking for, when you ask for consultants, when you ask for research, go have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them with the possibility of what's going to happen if you don't give you what you want. And she's talking about running certain campaigns on social media, weaponizing the mob, and that's why a lot of these studios, but let's not pretend that they aren't already staffed with people that are already down with this message to begin with. But this is why these places just go along to pretend to get along. But 2024 did an awful great service in shining a light on just how toxic these people really are. Gamers suddenly wanted to know which games and studios worked with a controversial company. Yes, oh my god, this is really walking down old memory lane. The Sweet Baby Inc. Detected Steam page, which, exploded to the second most followed curator page on Steam. At least it was at one point in time. Since then, SBI has seemed very hush-hush about which games are actively working on. The company's website highlighted past titles like Spooderman 2, Alan Wake 2, God of War Ragnarok. However, there's not a lot about upcoming projects outside of Afterlove EP by Pixelania and Pocket-Sized Hands. Master of the TDS alleged in a previous video, citing an inside source that SBI has as many as 30 upcoming titles in active development. Yeah, because they used to have, right? You could probably take a look at several of my other older videos, but they had a big splash page of all of the companies that they have and are currently working with, and it's a veritable who's who of the industry. So yeah, if they have their tendrils in anything that's coming out of AAA and it sucks, well, you kind of know which way you can point at as one of the numerous reasons why at least the writing sucks. recent SBI commercial flops like Surgeon Studios, yes, Tales of Kenzara Zao, Reflector Entertainment, and Bandai Namco's Unknown 9 Awakening that sold dozens of copies, trust me, is why so many studios tried to keep their connections to Sweet Baby Inc. quiet. Crush House's reality TV production simulator, where the player takes on the role of the producer and camera operator trying to cast a subsequently film a group of scantily clad, weird-looking rejects from Legend of the Zelda Wind Waker. It's like, this is just a trashy misuse of that art style. Spicier and better. You're encouraged to shoot big fights, big emotions, and big butts. It sounds like AIDS, and nobody's playing this. Wow, man. 14 people playing, 24-hour. Yes, 14 peak player count, which probably ended up getting a bump because of its more recent exposure. And 362 people playing it. Again, that reads like your typical woke gaming Steam chart. I mean, look at what Dustborn, did it do those similar numbers? Concord popping out at what, 3,500 concurrent players before the servers got shut off 2 weeks later. But gaming, I don't know if it's going to be worse in 2024, or I'm sorry, worse than 2024. I don't know if studios are going to learn and turn around this quickly, but like I said in reviewing of the Game Awards at the end of last year, the announcements that we've seen, those games look pretty good. Outside of the two notable ones, right? Like Naughty Dog's going to be going down with the ship, and CD Projekt Red, I mean, when he put out that ESG hostage video, why would you anticipate them writing anything good? But a lot of the announcements in the middle, a lot of good-looking games that are coming out in the very near future. Let's hope they learn some important lessons, because the first half of the year, it looks like there's going to be some good stuff. Okay, Monster Hunter Wilds is probably going to end up carrying it quite a bit, but in the second half, could be a little touch and go. And well, gaming, yeah, they were light on big tentpole releases, but eventually those games are going to have to come out, and there's only so much cover that GTA 6 can provide. And if that invariably gets knocked into the last couple of months of the year, yeah, there's going to be plenty of sunlight going around to expose these frauds in the industry, and yeah, can't happen soon enough. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.